Sometimes depression has to do with things that happen in our lives. Let's don't make it any more complicated than that. Usually that kind of depression will ultimately subside over a period of time, often with counseling and with prayer and scripture and love from others. And I have every reason to believe that my friend will make it through this. Sometimes depression is systemic. By that I mean it has something to do with what's going on in your system. This is often a surprise to many people. Sometimes there are systemic reasons. One of my favorite sayings goes like this: our souls and our bodies live so close together that they catch each other's diseases. Did you know that? We all know that. How many of you know that when you don't feel good physically, it's hard to feel good spiritually? Isn't that true? And the other way, it's the other way around too. I mean, so we're a body, soul, and mind. We're not just segregated into 3 different parts. And let me just tell you something. There are things that can go on in the human body that can create depression. Hormonal imbalance, dietary issues. All of these things can contribute to the moods that you feel. And before you go any further, if you have these bouts in your life, check it out. Make sure there's nothing going on that could cause you to be depressed that is systemic in nature. Let me go back to my friend Charles Haddon Spurgeon. The great man himself was subject to such spiritual depression, and the main cause of it was that he suffered from gout, severe gout, that finally killed him. And he had to face this problem of spiritual depression often in a most acute form, a tendency that always happened when he was having a severe bout with his physical disease. And he would have to leave his church for days and months at a time in order for him to get over this. You cannot isolate the spiritual, the emotional, the intellectual from the physical. They go together. The greatest and the best Christians, when they are physically weak, are more prone to an attack of spiritual depression than at any other time, and there are great illustrations of that in the Bible and in history. Sometimes there are satanic reasons. I mean, the book of Job is certainly an illustration of that. Here we see Satan at work more than in any other book in the Bible. Do you know that at the beginning, Satan makes a deal with God? He says, let me have Job, and I'll show you he's not as hot as you think he is. Let me have Job. Let me cause suffering in Job's life.